Hello, my name is Mark Rowley. Welcome to the channel, new subscribers. For those that haven't subscribed, get on board. You've only got yourselves to blame. You're missing out. This is where the party is. Okay, let's jump straight in. What are we discussing today? Dashboards, pivot tables, graphs, slicers. Okay. There's going to be no. This hasn't. This has not been pre-planned. This is very rough and ready. This video. I'm not going to trim it or cut it afterwards or any of that. I'm just going to go as we go along. So it might be a little longer than the usual ones are, but let's just see where we roll. So first of all, for any good report, we always need data. This is data that I've just manually typed in, and I've made it into a table by selecting it like so, and then hitting Control and T. Now, what is the data? Well, the data is basically January 2024 sales of flooring, essentially. We've got the date of the transaction, the customer account number, the customer name, where the customer is based, the product group, the stock code that the stock code, can't even speak, the stock code description, and the quantity sold, unit price, and then the total net sale. The product group is basically what the stock code resides in. So you can see if it's laminate flooring, it sits in the laminate product group. The next stage, really, we've also got a dashboard tab down here. This is where we're going to build our graphs. Then we're going to make it look really pretty and a bit more interactive. Before I go on, if new data was to come into this method that I've done, we would have to copy and paste underneath here, and then it would add on to this table. It's not my preferred method. My preferred method would be to build an SQL connection to your ERP, and then you just click data refresh and it all just pulls through. That's always my preferred method. I don't like manual. I'm more about automation. But let's we've got some raw data. Let's now start making something with it. So worksheet. So we're going to first of all build a pivot table, and we're going to call it top top products. Okay. So we're going to find out, insert pivot table. Now I could write the table name in there, or I can just point it and say like this, A to J, click OK. So let's start building our pivot table. We want to know what the top selling products are, so we're going to start with stock code. As you can see here, that doesn't tell us very much, so let's throw the stock code description in there as well. That's give us what we need, but it looks like a dog's dinner. So if we just click on here, field settings, and we're just going to tidy this up to put it in the tabular format. We need to know what the net sale is, so that we know what our revenue is. That's fine, but we don't particularly want the pennies when we're analysing at this level, so sum is fine. Number format, if we click on number there and put a comma in and take the 2 decimal places out, click OK, click OK. We then want to sort our data so that the highest sale, which I can quickly see is this oak laminate flooring, is at the top. We can do that by 2 ways. We can right click on this column and then sort by sort largest to smallest, or we can click on here And before I do that, I've noticed that there's the blank out at the bottom there. We don't need that information, so we can just filter that out here, like so. And then if we go to here, sort, more sort options, I'm going to click on descending, and I'm going to click on sum of net sales, and I'm going to click OK. So there you go. I don't know why, but the blanks come back in, so we'll need to take that back out. Don't know why she's jumped back in. Click OK. I did say this was rough and ready. There's no frills about this. So that's give us what we want. But off the back of this, this is great. And as the data in here, let's say we pasted another 10 rows in, new fresh information, we would just right click on this pivot here and select refresh, and then that would update the pivot. What we need to do with this now is build a graph off the back of this pivot. So I'm going to click insert, and I'm going to click on pivot chart up here, and for this type of information I would say you can obviously, there's lots and lots of different types, but I think for this a column graph will be absolutely fine. So I'm just going to pick on the first one just for the purpose of this, and then click OK, and basically it looks at the data, it says right there you are, what do you think about that? Modify it. Let's just make it a little bit bigger to start with so we can see what we're playing with. So the first thing I noticed is the title, this total, we can't have that. So I'm going to change that to top selling, let's put some spaces in, shall we? Top selling products. Okay, I'm going to move this here. Like so, and move that out of the way. I don't think we need these labels, to be honest. I'm happy with, so it lists the product code or the stock code here at the very bottom and a description just above it, and to be honest, I'm fine with that. I noticed that the graph as well goes highest to smallest as we sorted here. So I'm just going to right click over the top of this, and I'm going to click on hide all field buttons on chart. As you can see, that's tidied it up a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Control and C. I'm going to go to our dashboard tab, and then I'm going to click on, say, I don't know, here, and click Control and V. So I've pasted it into there now. We'll resize it because it looks enormous. Fine, that's fine. And then we'll bring in another graph. We'll build in another. So I'm just going to go back through the same process, add a new worksheet. We can actually modify the current pivot if we wish. I don't need this anymore, so we can delete that. But we can actually modify the current pivot, and the clever thing about this is when you refresh your first pivot, it'll refresh all of your pivots that you've built off it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this entire sheet into sheet 6 here. It takes the pivot with it. But like I said, if I refresh that one now, it'll refresh all of the pivots that I've just pasted from it. Now obviously we don't want to see the same information, so let's rebuild something. What can we have this time? Let's say, well, let's base it on product group, I think. So I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to remove the stock code. So this time I'm going to say product group and throw that into there. And again, you can see it needs a little bit of tarting up. So we will sort that out. interesting though, you can see straight away what the top products are. It's because I haven't got many products in this data, but that's fine. So I'm going to go more sort options. I'm going to click on descending. I'm going to click on net sale. I'm going to click OK. I'm then going to go back in. I'm going to take out the blank because we don't want to see that. And then what I'm going to very quickly do is I'm happy with the formatting, so I'm going to go insert again, and then I'm going to click on pivot chart. And again, it's entirely up to you what type of graph you want to see, but for me, again, I'm going to pick a column. I'm going to just make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to, I mean, there's not a great deal wrong with it, so let's just change this. Top selling product group, group, oh, I can't spell today, groups, which is fine. Maybe we can actually, if we just highlight what we've just written, like so, we'll put a bold on that and we'll make it a little bit bigger, go to 16. I'm going to right click over this label and I'm going to click on hide all field buttons on the chart. Okay, I'm going to click Control and C. I'm going to go back to our dashboard. I'm going to click about here and I'm going to click Control and V to paste it. And I'm going to start lining it up a little bit, like so. So let's just, I can see straight away we need to tart this one up. So let's go bold and we'll give that the same 16. And then what I'm going to do is we'll build one more. We can get rid of this one again. Don't need that anymore. We'll just build one more and we'll bring it in, and then we'll start to, so again I'm going to copy this into there. We don't want to see that information, so this time we'll do it by location, I think, or we'll give it, oh, actually no, we won't do that. We'll go who's the biggest customer, so remove field. We'll go with the customer name because the account number is not going to give us much information. We will sort it again, so more sort options, descending, some there, click OK. We don't want the blanks, so click OK. So there we go. So that's great. So now what we can do, again, we will build a graph. These pivots are very basic, so but it's only to give you a flavour on how to build them into a dashboard. So let's go with insert, and we will build a pivot chart again. And a line isn't good. We'll do a pie this time, just to give it a bit of difference. Okay, click OK. So here we go. So, and actually this isn't too bad. So I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger, so we can see straight away with this. I'm going to get rid of the hide all the field buttons on the chart. This section, if we want, we can make it bigger or smaller, or to be honest, I don't think it's too bad. I'll just space it out, and then we'll put in here top customers. How about that? Top customers. We will put it in bold. I will give it a 16, like so. Control and C. We will go to our dashboard. We'll come underneath about here. Control and V. So we've got a bit of flexibility. Now we'll try and line them up a little bit so that it sort of marries up. You can play around with these. You can align them as well, which I'll cover in another video. But at the moment this doesn't look like much of a dashboard, does it? What we need to do is, first of all, if we just click on that and we click on, let's have a look, where's grid lines? Page layout, I think usually, there we are. Here we've got the grid lines, so we want to click unview. That takes all of the grid lines away. We can also have a theme. Whilst we're on page layout, here you can see that there's themes that you can click on. You can choose what type of theme you want to see, and you can go through all of these. I'm just going to make my own, so I'm gonna put like a top border here. Let's have a nice, we'll go for something like, I didn't like that, hang on, it's because I pressed the wrong one, silly sausage. We'll go with something like that, I think. So, and then what I would normally do is I would put the company logo in here at the top somewhere. But then to take it to that extra next level, what we also need is some what we call slicers. If we go and click on our first pivot graph here, and we click on pivot chart analyze, you can see in the ribbon you've got some insert timeline and also insert a slicer. Well, what we're going to do is insert a timeline which is basically date. So we're going to click on that and click OK. It'll bring up a pop-up box, and this is going to look at, I'm just going to move that over there, and this is going to basically look at your timeline of transactions. Now this is built into months, so what I'm going to do is show you how this works. I'm going to change our data, I'm going to refresh the pivot tables, and then show you how we can slice this. So the first thing I want to do is go to here, and we're just going to change that to the 12th of March 2024. We'll change that to the 15th of March 2024. We'll change that to the 16th of November 2024. Well, this is just random. 16th of November 2024. 16th. We'll put February one in there. 10th of Feb 2024. We'll have December one. 31st December 2024. I'll just copy that one down, and that'll do. Paste. Done. Right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to our first pivot table. I'm going to right click and I'm going to hit refresh. Okay, that will have refreshed our data in the pivot, which means the graph will have updated. These will have updated as well because I've built these. Let's delete that one just to be consistent. These will have updated as well because I've right clicked the first one I made. These need titles, don't they? So this is product top product groups, we'll call that, and then this one's top customers, like so. I'm going to go back to our dashboard, and then what I can do with this graph is basically, if I say, well, I don't want to see January, you can see now how that's just updated. Or I do only want to see January. So if I want to only see February, you can see again it updates. So this is like a timeline slicer. Okay, you can also do it like this, quarters, days, and so on. I prefer to use this, if I'm honest, but it's up to either or either. So I'm just gonna move that along like that. Notice how the other graphs didn't move. So to correct that, what we need to do is right click on this slicer, this timeline slicer, and if you come down about halfway you'll see report connections. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to make this box a little bit bigger, and I'm going to select the other graphs, the other in the dashboard. So I'm going to click U, and I'm going to click U, okay, and I'm going to click OK. Now when I hit this, all of the graphs will update. So let's say I only want to look at sales that were done in December 2024. Okay, that's all I'm bothered about. And notice how now they all update. So Ms. D Fluffy is our biggest sale in December, and then Miss J Williamson is runner-up, and we can quickly see that. And if we go back to our data and we look at only December 2024, so take that off and go to that and click OK, then we can see the biggest sale by far is Ms. D Fluffy, and Miss J Williamson is the runner-up. So let's just kill our filter off there, go back to our dashboard, and then what I'm going to do is just bring in some more slicers. So again, I'm going to click on any particular graph. Okay, let's kill the thing there, and then I'm going to click on pivot chart analyze, and instead of adding a timeline, we don't need to worry about that because it's already there. We can now insert a slicer, and it says, well, what is it you want to slice? And really, slicer is just another name for filter. It's basically what is it you want to see? Well, okay, well, I might only want to see specific product groups, so let's bring in a slicer for the product group. Okay, I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to move that up into here. Now, bearing in mind, I'm using this like headed section here as to where I'm putting all of my slicers. There's no problem with that, but obviously on the dashboard you'd also want a company logo just to tart it up a little bit, and you can see already it's now starting to look a little bit more interactive. So let's have a look and see what we can do with this. Well, first of all, we want all of our graphs to update. Alright, so I'm going to click on, I'm going to right click over this slicer again, and I'm going to click on report connections, and you'll see the pop-up box appears, and make that a little bit bigger, and I'm going to say, right, I want all of my graphs to update. These are looking at the original pivot tables that we built. Okay, so click OK, and let's now work with these interactively, both of them. So I'm going to kill my filter on the date, so in other words it's going to show me all of the sales, so I'm just going to kill that, but I only want to see laminate. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to click on laminate, and it says, right, okay, well, your top selling laminate product was Lam OA2, which is an oak laminate flooring. Remember, that's not quantity, that's based on actual revenue. We can of course do quantity, not a problem, we can bring that in if we wanted to. Top selling product group, well, of course it's going to be laminate because that's what we've just picked up here, so that's why that's only showing by itself. And then top customers, now bear in mind that this is also looking at only that product group because that's what we've just sliced. So it's saying that Miss Charlie Black is by far the top selling customer for laminate. And if we go back to our data, we've got no filter on this, so I want to change. Let's just do this by take all of them off and only look at laminate. Click OK. Well, to be fair, we can quite easily see, we don't really need to do much work on this. We can see straight away Miss Charlie Black is the biggest sale for that product group. So click clear, take the filter off, go back to your dashboard, and really that's it. That's all I wanted to cover today. So obviously you can have as many slices in as you want. You might, let's just give you a flavour. So if we need to click on a graph, and if you click on pivot chart and analyze at the top, click insert slicer. I'm not going to do one, I'm just going to give you a flavour. It basically looks down all of the columns in your original data, says, well, what do you want to bring in? And you can choose, and that will determine how your graphs work. Any questions, please add them to the comments section. Like and subscribe. I will try and keep panning these videos out as much as I can. But like and subscribe. If you're not going to like and subscribe, all I can say to you is just get on board. You're the ones missing out. Okay, and thank you to the new subscribers. My name's Mark Rowley and I am out.